everybody, welcome back to my podcast. We've got another great episode for you guys today, and it's all about Greek life. And today I'm here with Gianna and Connor. So how are you guys doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. All right, so we got a jam-packed episode today with some great topics, great information. But before we get started and I let them introduce themselves, we're just going to do a really quick, as always, information from Sacred Heart's website about Greek life. So according to Greek life, for the Sacred Heart population, about 33% of the university is involved in fraternity and sorority life, which is the professional way of saying Greek life, just an FYI. We have raised within the Greek life community over $105,000, and the cumulative spring 2022 GPA for the community was 3.27, so we're really smart. And within our two councils, so the Interfraternity Council, or the IFC Council, which is for the fraternity men, we have several organizations. We have Beta Theta Pi, Kappa Sigma, Omega Phi Kappa, Pi Kappa Phi, Delta Tau Delta, and Sigma Chi, which is brand new. And then for the Panhellenic Council, which is the sorority councils, we have Alpha Delta Pi, Chi Omega, Delta Zeta, Kappa Alpha Theta, Kappa Delta, Phi Sigma Sigma, Zeta Tau Alpha, and Delta Delta Delta. So we've got a lot going on here over at Sacred Heart within Greek life. So now that we've got the basics out of the way, do you two want to introduce yourselves and, your role within Greek life?
Sure. You want to go first?
I can, yeah. So my name is Cunha. I'm a senior here at Sacred Heart University, major in computer science with a mathematics and Catholic studies minor. I'm IFC president, meaning that I sort of oversee the fraternities from a student body standpoint. I sort of see it as like the president of the federal government compared to the state governments.
It's a really good comparison.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I'm Gianna Conidi. I'm also a senior. This past year I was the Panhellenic president. I'm a member of Phi Sigma Sigma, and Panhellenic Council is made up of a delegate from each sorority organization, and we would meet Friday mornings at 10, just discuss what's going on in the community, and yeah. That's what it's been.
Yeah, thank you. So as they said, we both have the president of both the two councils that kind of oversee both Panhellenic and IFC councils. So you've got top dogs here giving you information. So that's pretty cool. Nice fist bump action going on over here. So, now that, knowing the position that you guys have been in throughout all of your years here at Sacred Heart, just ask you a couple questions about Greek life so that if anybody that's watching that's coming to Sacred Heart wants to get involved, they'll have a nice little perspective from you two. So, my first question to start off, before even coming to Sacred Heart or going to college, what was your perspective on Greek life? Because I feel like Greek life, we're going to get this right off the bat, has this type of stigma to it. Whether you go to a big school, small school, whatever it entails, what you're involved in. So when you were coming to Sacred Heart and you were thinking about what you wanted to get involved in, what were your thoughts about Greek life?
I would say I was definitely nervous going into college as a freshman anyways. I went through recruitment as a sophomore, so I didn't do it freshman year just because I felt like I wasn't ready yet, wanted to see the campus more, and just get used to being a college student. And so I feel like I didn't know too much about fraternity and sorority life or sororities at all. But then as freshman year progressed and everything, I started knowing more, and then I was like, yeah, I have to do it. In the fall of my sophomore year, because I just felt like I wanted to join something that was bigger than myself, I guess. That's the answer I always say. And just find like-minded people and just the entire Panhellenic community as a whole as well.
Yeah, that's great.
I hated Greek life so much.
Okay.
In high school, just did not like the feel of a bros. I'm not looking for bros.
He doesn't want bros.
I got bros. It's fine. But going into college, I spent my freshman year just looking for a support group, and then did not touch fraternity life with a 10-foot pole. And then going into sophomore year, I realized I did not create a group of people who had my back as well as I needed. And so I went forth and found my people, which kind of cheated a little bit. My older sister used to go here. And so she kept nagging me about, oh, you should join this organization. They fit you. You'd fit right in. And I was like, no, absolutely not. She got me.
And here you are. And you both ended up being president of the bigger organization outside of Greek life. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I know a lot of people, especially within Sacred Heart here, or when they go into college, they think that they have to do Greek life right off the bat. Or like you come into freshman year and obviously they're targeting the demographic of freshmen coming in looking for a community. But a special thing about here is that you don't have to just be a freshman to rush. Like both of you decided to do it your, secondary years coming into school and still found a way to get involved and have a really great respect for it. I know a lot of people, including myself, that went through recruitment during freshman year looking for kind of a stakehold in something within student life just to get myself kind of like settled into Sacred Heart, and I did find it like having that organization was really beneficial for me coming in, but you can still do it later on as well. There's some people that still do it as juniors too, like if they're transferring in, and it's still such like a stable community that like gives you people to know and to hang out with, especially if you maybe never will cross their paths outside of Greek life. So that's very cool. And Connor kind of touched upon this within his mentioning of his sister going here and trying to find a community for himself. But what kind of influenced your decision to go Greek outside of, other people telling you? Was there anything Sacred Heart or any friends that you knew that had already done it that kind of pushed you to look into it?
I would say my freshman year roommate had gone through recruitment, and just like seeing her go through the process, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if that's for me or whatever. But then as like the year progressed, I started seeing like different organizations. You'd see their letters or just them doing things, having events like philanthropy events or just anything in general. And I was like, oh, that actually seems like really cool, like kind of interested in that. And I think just like seeing just it around campus and realizing how like prevalent it is at Sacred Heart, and like in like the best way, I would say too, because I think like people would compare it to like big South schools, and it's just like not that at Sacred Heart. And I think that's like one of the best things that I guess got me involved in it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I like the comment about the South school thing, because I am not somebody who would fit into that type of demographic of like the really big, like you are part of your organization, but that's one of your like main identities. Yeah. Maybe that's kind of a naive way of seeing it, but being in organizations here, it's not like something to be scared of. It's something more to be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, this, and this for my community, but I'm also meeting a lot of people. And I also get to wear a set of letters that like I get to later on 20 years be like, oh my God, I was so-and-so at this university. Like, what are you? Where are you at? And type, all of that stuff. So both of you went through recruitment during your sophomore years. And I know that for sorority and for fraternity recruitment, it is very, very different. So, and both of yours was during COVID?
Yeah, mine was online.
Okay. So that will definitely be, and I can also highlight my experience as well since I did it in person, but can you kind of take me through how your recruitment went and what you were feeling while you were talking to people from the organizations?
So I can honestly like say in two perspectives too, because I was a recruitment counselor this past fall. So basically what it is for the women that want to join a sorority, you have an orientation on the Thursday before that weekend. And there's a lot of like pre-recruitment events that are going on around campus, just like see familiar faces when you do go into recruitment in all those rooms and stuff. Friday, you would meet all of the 8 sororities. You'd go to those rooms for like 20 minutes each. And then the next day, you're going to meet up to 5 organizations, and then the next day is up to 2. And I would say for me, it was definitely a lot of just like anxiety over the not knowing yet of what the weekend would look like. But I feel like because I knew people that were also going through recruitment, like I got closer with them as well. And even when we went into different organizations, like we were still close because you have that Panhellenic community type of like vibe going on. And then I would say also from the recruitment counselor perspective that it is a good amount of freshmen that are going through recruitment, but I personally like to just make those sophomores feel a little comfortable because I was nervous going through it as a sophomore too. I was like, oh my gosh, like everyone's a freshman, like this is their first year. I've already had 1 year under my belt, but it ended up being that it didn't really matter. Like it was just you're talking to people. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman or sophomore or anything like that. You were kind of just still, I guess, as basic as it is to say you're all finding your home. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, for me, oh my God, what was it? So IFC does IFC specific events, and then each fraternity will have their own sort of events. We do it a little bit differently, sorry.
It's okay.
So IFC begins with an orientation where we have all the possible new members arrive, and we give them basic information about each organization so that they could sort of take that, be like, oh, I like that about this group of guys. Let me go and reach out and find out more. And so then we'll do, IFC will do more sort of events. We do Grilling with the Greeks, where each fraternity comes out to the quad, wherever. We'll cater burgers, fries, hot dogs, and then everybody will just hang out, get to know each other. And then each individual fraternity will have table times. They'll go out to the quads, they'll hang out, just get to know everybody. So it's very laid back. It's not as stressful as sorority recruitment seems to be often.
Yeah, yours goes on for a longer amount of time, and I think sororities is just the one weekend. Then bid day happens, and then all new member education and stuff starts, and then you really get into it. It's faster, but it's still totally different than what a fraternity would be like, but they both work well to be so different too.
Sorority recruitment seems like a well-oiled machine. You guys seem to have...
Yeah. Somewhat.
You've figured it out.
Yeah.
I envy it.
I think the recruitment counselors makes it a lot better because you have your group of, it's about like, tends to be like 20 potential new members or PNMs, and we walk with these girls the first night, so like even if you're new to campus or anything like that, like you have someone that's a sophomore, junior, or senior that's been at Sacred Heart, and they're walking you through it, being like kind of just a support system if needed and anything like that. And I think when girls that go through recruitment really feel like they need someone to just talk to about this like really high stress like environment and weekend, like the recruitment counselor's there. And I think that's what helps a lot of people to stick through the entire weekend too, because as it is stressful, you know, if you're not meeting the group that you wanted on the first day or second day, third day, anything like that, the recruitment counselors, as we were like trained to do, is just like try and talk it through with them, be that support system, and kind of just make them feel like comfortable with going through with the recruitment process and everything like that, because there is a lot that do get, I guess, upset if it's not the one that you wanted back, but a lot of people that stick with it, they really end up like super happy at the end of it on bid day and everything like that.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, between the two recruitment processes within ours for sorority being 4 days, 3 days, and then, you know, you start and at the end you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in this one, or this is where I ended up, like this is how my weekend went, versus fraternity where it's like, okay, here's your options, see what you resonate with, and it's on, you're kind of on your own in a way. You can correct me if I'm wrong, since I clearly did not.
It feels like that. It certainly does.
Like, okay, you're almost like find something or the area that you resonate most with, and like kind of get yourself situated there. And how does the bid processing for fraternities work?
So you get your name into campus director, whatever, and show up to the events. You'll be on the radar of the fraternity, and then each fraternity has a preference night where it's invite only, attend, usually it's sort of business attire, and then from there each fraternity will have a voting night where they look at everybody, feel each person out, and then they will bestow a bid upon you.
Grant the access. Here is your...
You may enter. Thank you.
Whereas like sorority, it's like everybody gets an envelope and it's like, open! And everyone's ripping it open. Yeah. And you're like, oh my gosh.
You make them sit on that envelope for way too long for the recruitment counselors to do their reveal since you're disaffiliated. I don't know how they did it. I just got an email and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was in the Chipotle parking lot, but I wish I opened an envelope, but it's fine.
I got an email too, so it's...
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool.
And
then I got my Chipotle.
I forgot about the email.
Yeah.
Someone had to tell me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was like 4 o'clock, and you have to accept it by 5.
Oh.
And they're like, hey, just checking in.
Do you want this or not?
It's like, what do you think about what, you know, was just sent to you?
Yeah.
Thoughts? Acceptance?
Decide right now, because we are online for things.
I see.
That's so funny. And I guess for, you know, within the Panhellenic and the IFC councils during recruitment, as Gianna said, for sororities, at least, I mean, since I know, you have to disaffiliate from your organization to help PNMs get through the process. And in doing so, that's just making sure that there's no biases attached to anything, or, you know, you're giving each organization more of a fair shot, or just being able to walk in with like an open mind, which is something that, you know, I was told going through recruitment. I'm sure you guys are told going through recruitment, and then we tell. It's like a full circle. Just like keep an open mind, because it really does work out the way that it's supposed to. And being a recruitment counselor, seeing it from the other side, especially because you were online for yours, that gave you that full circle moment with
Yeah, for sure. Because I was always like, oh, like I didn't have the in-person experience. But then my junior year, so like my second year in my organization, I was able to do recruitment on the other side. And then that was still a little different, obviously, because of COVID restrictions or anything like that. But then for my senior year this past fall, like, it was just a totally different experience, but it felt much more, like, fulfilling and stuff, because, like, you see them all open their cards and stuff. And, like, for myself, I didn't have any of my PNMs, like, run home with me, but I was still, like, you could see how happy they were to, like, do that. And it was almost, I guess, worth it for me to not have that in-person experience, because I saw it for all those girls, and it was just amazing, so...
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then for IFC, there's going to be a lot of questions for this one, but for the recruitment style, when you're on the IFC council, do you disaffiliate, or is it more of seeing it from a general point of view and trying your best not to push a certain way?
You're supposed to disaffiliate.
Okay.
It's because our recruitment is so different, it's kind of hard to ensure everything's working out that way, just because it's so hands-off. You should disaffiliate. We work on it. We actively check ourselves and be like, all right, I gotta stop hanging out with my organization. I gotta go to the table and just be pretty. But yeah.
Definitely. What do you guys, I mean, when I think about, like, the process for my recruitment counselor and not knowing, like, where she was, I feel like that did really help me. And it kind of gave, like, my group kind of, like, a bonding, like, oh, what do we think, like, what organization is she in? Like, brought us together. Do you feel that disaffiliating from your organization helps the process more?
I would say yes, because of the fact that if they do, like, say they don't like my organization, like, I can't say anything, because then that could just, like, sway them a certain way. But also, like, if they, I don't even know how to, like, describe it, but it almost works because they know that I'm not trying to recruit them. Like, I'm just there to, like, my, like, style, I guess, was, like, kind of just, like, laid back, and, like, if they needed me, they came to me. And I was disaffiliated, like, they didn't have to say anything about my chapter or anything like that. Like, I was just being unbiased, and I think the being unbiased helps the PNMs also, like, they're making the decision. Like, it doesn't matter what chapter I'm attached to or anything like that. It's just, it's up to them. And I think, too, like, because I remember moving in, I saw, like, one, like, organization, like, helped at move-in, because, like, all the fraternities and sororities help out at move-in for freshmen and stuff. And I remember seeing, like, these letters or whatever it was, and I just, like, kept seeing them. And then I feel like that was the only one I thought of. And I don't even remember which one it was, but that was the only one I thought of. And then thinking about if they were my recruitment counselor, I'd be like, oh, like, I already know where they are. So it would totally, like, sway my decision into, and, like, it also makes you, like, feel bad if they're like, oh, like, I don't really like that one, but, like, it's just not the right spot for you. And it's not, but.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel about for, like, fraternity?
It's hard to say, because being that it's so hands-off, my opinion is that sort of IFC being so, if I don't tell them what organization I'm in, they don't care.
Right. From
my perspective. Because we don't have a hand in it like that. We're not talking to them, hey, do you need help? Like, can I help you understand something? We're very much like, you know, here are our organizations. Get to it. Go talk. Go socialize.
Go mingle. Go have fun.
Be a golden retriever and just, friends, oh my god. Hi, friends.
No, yeah.
You'll be a bro.
Boys, what's up?
You know, I feel like there is no right answer for that, because especially with the two differences of how recruitment goes, for sororities, you want, you know, since it is such a big, like you were saying, it's not hands-on for you guys. It's very hands-on for sorority. You want the girls to be able to go through and get a feel for everybody without, what word am I looking for? Without, like, deciding that, you know, oh, I'm not going to give it my full heart when I go in here because I don't want to. As for like IFC, like it's such a different process. At the end of the day, like each organization, we're looking for members. Like that's what you're looking for. And as much as like for us, like we want to say like, oh, I'm in this one, like you should definitely look at it. You do want them to look at the other ones as well. And like in the back of your mind, you're like, please pick this one. Like you have like a rush crush. Like for us, I like have somebody I'm talking to. I'm like, oh, like no matter what organization you end up, you're so lucky to be in there. And I'm like, but please stay because this is such a good conversation. Like, you know, but it's you're always so happy for wherever they end up at the end. Like I'm always like, oh, this person ended up there. Like that's such a good fit for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. So at Sacred Heart, I feel like, and you guys can tell me if you felt the same way, when I came on my tour, the only mention of Greek life, I don't even think there was a mention of Greek life. It was like, here are our rocks, and these are our organizations. Yeah. Thanks for coming. I'm like, oh, okay. But again, I toured 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
I don't even remember mine.
I didn't go on a tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're here.
Yeah. My sister went here, so I just
you don't even
there you go.
See what she experienced, and you're like, okay, that's cool. My brother almost did that too, but he's like, actually, never mind. I don't want to copy you.
That's so fun.
All I remember hearing from like literally any tour, not even Sacred Heart, was we don't have houses or something like that. Because that's what everyone thinks of when you think of fraternities or sororities. It's like, oh, you have your house and everything like that. But I don't even like remember. The only thing I remember from Greek life when I was a freshman was them helping us move in, and that was literally it. But the tours, I couldn't even tell you. Did they say anything on tours? Like I don't even know. Like I was.
Because I remember, like, when I first came, I knew we had Greek life, and that's where I was still on, like, the teetering point of, like, do I want to go through recruitment? Like, I don't know if it's for me. Like, I'm very much, like, kept to myself. Like, I was still, like, very, very shy when I came in, and I still think I'm, like, a little bit more reserved, but, like, now I'm definitely, like, like, out of my shell a little bit more. But then I was, like, walking around the hallway, and they do this on purpose, obviously. You wear the letters and, like, the organizations. But I'm walking around, I'm like, oh, my God. Like, is everybody here a part of Greek life?
Yeah.
I feel like I saw the same sweatshirt, like, every single day when I was walking around. I was like, okay, so maybe I do want to do this.
No, that literally, after I didn't go through recruitment freshman year because I was too nervous, I was like, oh, like, I wish it was, like, another opportunity to do it, like, in still freshman year, but not. But then I was like, okay, I'll just wait more. But doing it sophomore year, and then I started noticing it so much more, and I was like, oh, yeah, like, this was the right choice for me, I guess. But, yeah, it literally is the same sweatshirt every time. Or, like, the same letters, or it's like, oh, my God, like, honestly, sometimes even the same person. I'm like, I just saw you. And they're like, is this a sign? And you're like, no. You're just walking through the hallway.
Maybe the universe is telling me to do recruitment. Yeah. Or, you know.
Sleeper marketing. They're just getting in there.
Yeah.
You're not ready for it.
You're just, you close your eyes and you're like, Greek letters.
Is that 𝚑𝚒𝚌𝚛𝚎𝚍?
In the distance? I asked this.
So this is like weird. I don't know if this is, you can cut this out or whatever, but like when I was going through recruitment, I like kept like getting things with like 2s and stuff because like I was number 2 in high school and 12 in high school, and I like just like the number 2, and I was like, oh my God, like 𝚑𝚒𝚌𝚛𝚎 is the only one with the double letter, and I was like, that's the one. Like that was my like mentality, and it worked, but it's a little crazy, but it's fine.
No, you know, you can think of it as one. I mean, you never know.
Sometimes signs happen, or it's just you just convincing yourself that that's what you need, but it's fine. It happens. Signs are real.
You know what? I honestly, if things are there and it like validifies something that I'm thinking about, I'm like, oh, that was definitely a sign.
Yeah.
God was telling
me.
I'm
like, I'm running with this one.
I'm just gonna take this as my confirmation and just go. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That
should I get Taco Bell tonight for dinner?
Oh my God, I saw a commercial.
Get an ad.
Oh, it's 5:36. It's dinner time, guys. It's a sign.
Yeah. I want you to come back later and like say if you get an advertisement for Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Just now that we're talking about this.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally sidetracked from Greek life, but like we need.
No, but like I'm gonna open Instagram and it's gonna be, you wanna crunch wraps? Like yes.
Actually, that's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Now that you mention it, you know. But
not sponsored.
Circling back.
It's not an ad.
This podcast is sponsored by
We're gonna see this on TV later.
Cheesy Dorita Gloopa. Get it?
Dorita.
Too many words.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
I love being involved in fraternity life, especially when you could do a mass Uber Eats order.
They do Chipotle fundraisers.
Guys,
Now we're
I
bringing it
would
back.
fiend over those Chipotle fundraisers.
yeah.
That's where you see the fraternity and the sorority lives like intertwine. It's like
and the
somebody has a
long line
Chipotle.
at Chipotle.
When worlds collide.
Yes,
Yes.
literally.
Not on campus.
Hey, I know you.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways,
Sorry.
I was gonna ask because when like coming in and you're like, wow, Greek life is so big here. And I fully did not expect it to be or just anticipated it to be because I feel like there wasn't as much like notion to it when I was coming because obviously they're talking about the academics. That's why I'm doing this podcast, to give a little bit of insight on student life. But what do you think some of the perks of being in Greek life are based on like your decision to join? And like, what do you think that students would benefit from if they decided to do Greek life?
I mean, if someone is like focused on community service, which is something that I was really interested in, because I did a lot in high school and stuff, I was like, I want to do that. And I knew that all these chapters have a philanthropy and stuff. So you automatically have at least 2 philanthropy events a year. You're doing fundraisers, you're doing all this stuff. And you're also just like meeting people. And I was saying this to someone, I was like, you just have one more person to say hi to in the hallway. Because like if you're wearing the same like merch as someone else, you're like, oh my god, like, hey, like I know you, or you're both wearing it and you did a little like, hey, what's up? But like even after joining, I had like 2 positions in 𝚑𝚒𝚒𝚘. Like I was the financing like position assistant, and then I did a fundraising position as well. And there was just like so many opportunities to do things too, and also just to like connect with people because like as we all were orientation leaders, like I feel like I connected with the other girls that were orientation leaders and in 𝚑𝚒𝚒 too, because it was just like a joint kind of like thing and all that. But then also too, like growing out of like the just 𝚑𝚒𝚒 mindset and going onto Panhellenic, I feel like I was so just like so many doors opened, and I just had like the ability to do so much more like with the entire Panhellenic community and instead of just my organization. And I feel like I got closer with my organization too by being on Panhellenic Council. And it was just, honestly, it's just opportunity. And there's just opportunity if you want to grab it. I mean, if you don't want to have all these positions and blah, 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 and all executive board and stuff, like you don't need to, but it's there. And like you have the option to do it. And for me, as someone that like, if I'm joining something, I want to do the most possible. And like that was just like perfect for me to have that opportunity and ability to. So,
Yeah.
In high school, I was a Boy Scout, and I got exactly that. Like, I was...
What is Scout's honor?
Boom. Yeah. But, like, I came into college thinking, oh, I need, like, a brotherhood situation, because I liked it in high school. And so I joined the Air Force ROTC. Not what I was looking for. It's been a
I
pleasure.
didn't even know we had that.
It's through Yale, yeah.
Really?
I've
Oh my
always seen
goodness.
people walking with those, and I was like, that is cool.
Oh.
So I did that for, like, a few weeks. I was like, absolutely not. No, thank you. And I, like, as I said earlier, I was looking for a support group. Went in, found it. I got a group of people who completely different to me, but who all have my back, who all, like, are there to support me, whatever I want to do. Philanthropy, of course, because Boy Scouts, you're out doing service projects and fraternities. It's the best being able to wake up early on like a Saturday or Sunday and like go wherever and just like pick up garbage off the street, hanging out with the boys, doing a little chit chat. It's great. It's very like therapeutic. It's very not
Fulfilling?
Fulfilling is the word I was looking for. Thank you. And just having that, and like we have a group chat for my fraternity for just like mutual assistance, where you're in an emergency, you need help ASAP. Throw in the chat, hey, my car broke down. Hey, like, I need this tool now. You have a ton of people who are like, all right, on my way. Send me your address. What's going on? And it is, yeah, my love language is acts of service. So I just sit in that group chat and I'm like,
I love my brothers. Let me help you.
yo, love you boys.
Let me assist you.
Is it 1 a.m. and you need a ride home?
Doesn't matter.
Right here, guys.
Your brother's here.
Hello. Give me a call.
brother's here.
I might be sleeping, but listen, I get a
I
phone
will
call.
wake up for
I'm on my way.
brother.
I'm on my way.
It's like a Batman signal.
Yeah.
On my way.
Groupie notification.
They need me.
Imagine he just runs out. Sorry, the brothers need me. Gotta go.
Beta is calling.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's good. Like, I can relate to both of those. Like, within a community service standpoint, I feel like my organization, 𝚂𝚘𝚒𝚑 for reference, I really like that the way that we're so connected with our philanthropy, and I have been able to see like how, my volunteer hours or like where my donations go to, like I'm seeing it make a difference like in my own community. And that's like being able to do that with like a unified group of individuals who all have like the same goal and still want to like support each other and like create like a fruition within the organization for a bigger purpose. That's really like exciting and something that I will cherish within my years here at Sacred Heart. And even just being a part of a community and be able, like you said, being able to say hi to people in the hallways. Like when I was a freshman, I had somebody who I knew was a senior. I didn't think she knew who I was at all. But I was walking down the hallway wearing a sweatshirt, and she saw me. She was like, "Oh my gosh, hi, how are you? Like, how's everything going?" And I was just standing there like, "Oh my God, you know who I am? I'm good, thank you."
Like, oh, yeah, thank you.
I'm like, "I'm doing so well, thanks." But yeah, I think that I wish that Sacred Heart marketed their Greek life a little bit harder, because there are so many people who like this is their main involvement, and this is like the main part of their Sacred Heart experience. They've met their best friends through it. Lifelong, like girls during recruitment are like, I've met my bridesmaids here. Like there's, it's such a great community. Sacred Heart, push that more.
Yeah,
we got a great
good.
community here.
It's really good.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, not at all. To circle back just to the Panhellenic and IFC Council, when you guys were, you had to obviously apply for that process to be a part of that board. What kind of made you want to be a part of an additional board for Greek life here at Sacred Heart?
Well, if we're going to be honest, apply for your own board first, because those are normally earlier. A lot of people apply. There's only so many positions that you could really get. And I was like, okay, like whatever, didn't get that. But like I still needed to like do something. I was like, I need some leadership, something just to be involved in more than I was already. And so the Panhellenic Council, a lot of people had always told me like, oh, like you should do that. Like you seem like you would really like fit the role there. Like I know, I think a girl that was like 2 years older than me was on it, and she was like, you would do so well on it, like you should totally do it. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to. Like I don't really like feel like that would whatever suit me or anything. But president now, so it worked. But I feel like I saw more of just like a professionalism with the Panhellenic Council interviews. Like there was an application, but you also had an interview, and like not every chapter does interviews. It's kind of just the whole process is different for everyone. And I just felt like more, I guess, professional doing this interview. And I was like, oh, okay, like I could actually see myself doing this. And I got more of like the fulfilling type of thing where it was like, okay, like I'm not one just benefiting myself or my chapter, it's everyone. And like, I think by doing that too, I was able to get different perspectives, because the Panhellenic Council is obviously made up of delegates, but also the Panhellenic Executive Board. And that has people of almost every organization that we have on campus. So I just got to see more of a perspective on that too. And it was just, whatever got me there honestly didn't really matter, because it was just, in the end, it was like the best thing I've ever done. So, yeah.
Wow. We had like a very similar train into it.
Yeah.
Because I like also ran for my own e-board. Didn't get that, but I was still like, I need to be a leader somewhere involved in fraternity life. And I had been a delegate previously for the IFC, knew how it worked. My fraternity twin was previously the president right before me. And so we'd always hang out, so we'd chit chat and he'd be like, hey, I'm working on this idea, like, tell me how you think, or like, hey, I have this problem, I'm trying to solve it, here's what I'm thinking, give me ideas. And he kind of groomed me without us knowing to become the next president. And he was like, oh, by the way, elections are up and you didn't get your fraternity, so move it, like, get this.
Yeah. It's like, here's the application.
One door closes, another one opens.
It's almost, it was a sign.
Circling back to the sign. It really is, though. Like, that's such a good point, because a lot of the people, like, I know a lot of the girls, especially in my organization, who did run for positions, well, we do it a little differently, but didn't end up getting a position on, their original executive board, but then they took their talents to benefit not only their own board, but the entire, like, organization of Panhellenic or IFC. So I think that's such a great point. Like if one thing doesn't work out for you, something else just might be right around the corner that's 10 times better. Like, can you guys imagine what your Greek life experience would be like if you didn't have this past year on either council?
I don't even know. Like, I feel like it made me just, like, love my organization more because I got closer with the girls that were on my executive board because the delegate was at the meetings on Friday mornings. And, like, I got closer with my, like, president at the time, too, because we were both kind of going through the same thing. And it was just, like, I don't even know what my experience would have been like if I didn't apply and, like, get this position because I don't even know. Like, I was just, like, the position of president was just, like, my life at that time and, like, in the best way possible, too. But, yeah, I don't know what it would be like.
I would have just pulled out. I would have been so, like, non-existent. It's a horrible thing to say, but, like...
But, like, it made me more...
It made me care a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, because you actually see, like, the back end stuff. Because, like, as both, like, presidents, we work directly with the fraternity and sorority life staff. So the director, like, Nick, the assistant director, Catherine, and then the graduate assistant, May. Like, I feel like we were all so close with them in a, like, professional way. But also, like, if we needed to, we could talk to them. And then the biggest part about our position, too, is, like, we're, like, a liaison between, like, the students and, like, the higher-ups professionals and stuff. And I feel like that was... like super fulfilling too because it was like, okay, like I'm actually being heard and they actually want my opinion. So I feel like, I don't know if that was the same for you,
really
but
great,
like
yeah.
I was like, oh, like, okay, this actually will work because student life is also working with people that work for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I feel like, too, and I don't think it's a bad thing to say that you would have withdrawn from it because I think that our experiences and our involvement, not only, like, within college, is what we make of it. So if you knew, like, there's some people who are completely content and fine being a member and just being there for the ride, watching, and just, like, contributing when you can. And then there's people who really want to have a hands-on approach to it. And if you have, these skills and, oh, my God, I really want to get involved, but I don't know how, like, haven't been given an opportunity to...
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense. So being able to, take your talents and being able to still use it for what you want to do. Maybe it's not the track that you originally wanted.
Yeah, but it worked out
But
even better. Yeah.
It's great. So within, like, Greek life as a whole, and this will be kind of one of our, and close to the ending questions, do you have any, from the top of your head, do you have any, like, feel-good stories or moments from being in Greek life that, like, if somebody asked you, like, what was your favorite thing about Greek life being in college? That's such, like, a large question. Like, I can give you some time to think. I have a very funny one. So my freshman year, I was, we'll track a little bit. So I have a food allergy. This is going to be a very interesting story. I bet both of you are like, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
So I have a food allergy, and it's an allergy that requires having, like, an EpiPen, and I have only ever had a reaction once in my life. So it's always on the back burner a little bit. Should be a little bit more, should be more in the forefront, but I just... So I had gotten, like, something to eat earlier in this day, and I had gone to, like, a sports practice at night, and my body was starting to show, like, a bunch of signs that, like, something was wrong. But, of course, me being stupid, I'm like, oh, it's cold out. Like, I haven't run in a while, blah, blah, blah. What ended up happening was later in that night, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, I ended up having an allergic reaction, like, in my dorm room, where I was like, okay, like, I should probably go to the hospital. Neither me or my roommate didn't have cars, obviously. So I had called my mom. She's like, why don't you call public safety? I'm like, I don't want someone taking me from public safety. Yeah. So I called my big from my sorority. She picked up immediately. She's like, meet me here. I'll be here. Like, what do you need me to do? Like, I'll come grab you. Like, all of this stuff. She sat with me in the waiting room. She was texting my mom. And it was just like, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have that. Like, if I didn't have my big, I love her. She's my best friend. Like, she is my mom. And my mom the next day was like, joining Greek life in the end probably was, like, your best decision because now you have connections like that, people that are there for you, like, no matter what. Like, we didn't get back until, like, 3 o'clock in the morning. She probably had, like, I don't remember if she had a class or something, but it was, like, no questions asked. Like you and your group mate, the brothers.
Yeah.
But, like, if somebody asked me, like, what was one of the things that you got from Greek life, I'm like, I've got people who will drop everything for me and, all of that. So that's my fun little tidbit, relying.
I think, honestly, like, just this past year as being Panhellenic president, I feel like it's been my best experience because, so, just even in the most, like, weird way. So the vice president, we, like, clicked so fast, and it was, like, a little freaky in a way. Like, I think the way that we, like, acted towards each other, like, people would have thought we were friends forever. And I think that was, like, one of the best things because we were, one, like, really good friends outside of our positions, but then we could bring that into our, like, weekly meetings as an executive board and into council and all that stuff. And I felt, like, so, I guess, like, supported because it was, like, a united front of the president and the vice president. And I don't know, I feel like it was just so, like, yeah, like, this was a good thing. Like, I got, like, a really good friend out of this, but also just, like, it made the experience much more enjoyable. And I feel like we both would agree that having each other as, like, the right-hand woman type of thing kind of made both of our experiences, like, so just great in general. You hung out with us, too.
Yeah, I guess.
You're pretty cool.
It's fantastic. Had I not just heard that you guys didn't know each other beforehand, I would have assumed that.
Yeah, it's almost, like, it's weird. It doesn't make sense, but, like, we both had, like, the same experience where, like, I need to do something, and then we both just, like, clicked so fast, and we're like, oh, okay, like, maybe this will make the experience even, like, so much more fun and just, like, enjoyable, and we would, like, agree on all the things that we needed to agree on, and it was just, like, just made the experience so much better. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
That is.
Mine's not as fun.
I mean, it's okay.
Or as life-threatening.
Yeah, that's such a... I know. I went from, like, a 0 to 100, like, example, but I was...
So I almost died, and that was my favorite part of being in a sorority.
And I love my bag.
She's great.
Well, like, yeah.
I, like, going through the recruitment process, I met... Weird. So my VP of education lived in a house with some members of our fraternity, but, like, also just, like, mutual friends. And I would just go to their house and just hang out. And, like, no call. I would just walk to their house, doors unlocked, do homework in the living room. They wake up. They're like, what the hell are you doing here? I'm like, just chilling. And I would be there all day. And we'd spend time together. We'd just watch TV, do whatever, grab food. It was exactly what I needed. And that was the best part. Because I, like, freshman year, rough, whatever. Going into sophomore year, found the group that I needed, and, like, just immediately, I was there.
That's great. That's so funny. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm just hanging out. What are you doing here?
And I just didn't want to.
I just let myself in.
The door was unlocked. Your fault.
That's on you.
Remember to lock your doors.
Yeah.
But you know what? You never know who might walk there.
Welcome
Connor
to
Cunha might be in your living room tomorrow.
I'm coming to your living room right now, walking
but
there.
only if you're in beta.
So, as we're winding down, thank you for sharing your experiences with Greek life, for me, with me, for the people.
Thank you, people.
Thank you, people, for listening, watching.
Thanks, people.
Share.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for supporting my senior project. Love. So when you think about Greek life, especially because, Connor already graduated. Just learned that today.
You already graduated?
Last semester.
Isn't that crazy?
Semester early, yeah. See you guys.
Right? I know, now it's getting too
I kept
real.
it low
That's why I don't
guys.
see you in the hallway
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. It's depressing.
What do you do?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. You need beta.
It's okay, he's still there.
Where are my
He'll be
brothers?
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that Connor's graduated, and we're almost graduating, which is so sad, how do you think Greek life is now, from being through it and having a different perspective from it? Like, what is different about it than what you first expected? Everything? Because I feel like everything is my answer.
Me, I'm different. I don't know. I don't even know. I feel like little Gianna, sophomore Gianna, 2 years ago, whatever, but it's fine, was, like, a little bit reserved in a way, which is, like, probably surprising because I could talk to anyone, but I feel like it was, like, a confidence boost, too, because you know that, like, you don't know everyone necessarily, but, like, it's like, oh, okay, like, I see them, I do recognize them, it's, like, a comfort thing, and I feel like I looked up to, like, the older girls, because I remember, like, when I was in my Zoom room, and I was speaking to someone who, like, I'd known prior, she'd, like, asked the president to come into the room and speak to me, and I was like, oh my God. But then I saw her in the hallway, and I was like, oh my God, like, that's the president, like, that's so cool, like, I actually see her. And I feel like sometimes if someone like would see me, they'd be like, oh my god, like blah blah blah, like she's older but she's in my sorority. And because someone recognized me from hosting Greek Sing last year.
Really?
Yeah, like during recruitment, and I was like, oh my god, she probably knows like what organization I'm in, whatever, but she wasn't in my group anyways. But she was like, you like hosted the dance thing, and I was like, yeah, like I did. And then another girl who like is a freshman now who joined, she was like, yeah, you were wearing the purple set, and like you were dressed as 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 John on bid day and stuff, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, I was hoping my envelope said Phi Sig when I opened it. I was like, oh my god. So like full circle, I guess, is the way that it's changed, and I guess my perspective on it and other people's perspective of me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
I expected nothing good. Like, coming into college, I was like, absolutely not. Fraternities are so... I thought the stigma was real, and then I found out that they're just a bunch of golden retrievers.
Yeah.
Looking to make friends. Play ball.
Sure.
You bring a football to a fraternity, bro, and just throw it. Oh my god. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not, because at Growing with the Greeks, and I gave them all frisbees, they loved it.
Oh, we got excited. Oh, a frisbee?
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Just a simple group of friends, simple activities.
We just want to play.
Bunch of dogs. rough, you know?
No.
Hey, that's my time. It's been really fun.
rough, and I'm out.
Bark.
I just got it.
Where my dogs at? Sorry.
It's okay. We keep it real on this podcast.
Yeah.
We really do.
Unedited.
That's the whole point. We'll give you a final question. And what would it be to, if there's any new students watching this, have made it through this episode? I'm hoping you're laughing at all of this, because this is a really entertaining episode.
Yeah, just wait. Wait till the end. They got it.
What would you tell them about, if they want to get involved in Greek life, or if they want to get involved in college? What would your advice be to them?
Say yes to like everything. Like, if just anything you like. I remember like joining a club or something, and I was like, okay, like I don't really want to, but then I was like, nah, yeah, maybe I will. And then it was like, okay, join a sorority, and I was like, okay, like you just gotta do it. And even if you don't like it, then you stop doing it. But you gotta try it at least. Yeah.
Ask questions. Fully understand everything.
It's a good one.
Yeah, do your best.
It's fair.
It's another one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Love it. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, if you ever have any questions about Greek life, you've got a lot of different organizations that have their information up on their socials. IFC and Panhell also have their own socials, so you can go stop over there. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, and I will see you for the next one.
Yay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Carissa.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more epic content like this.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Wait, what's like a podcast theme song? Or Taco Bell.
Do you want to make her a theme song really quick?
Dad.
Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da. Welcome to Carissa interviewing people.
In future, Piney.